Hey guys, welcome back to the vlogs. Koori Physio vlog number 2. Hope you guys enjoyed the first vlog. It's a little bit rusty, still trying to work out how to do it all really. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the first vlog. Still definitely trying to find my feet with all this stuff, but enjoying the process so far. Vlog number 2, I'm going to be taking you along on a couple of different things. So first thing we're going to do is it's Saturday morning here in Koori, so I'm going to show you guys what I like to get up to on a Saturday morning. Basically, we're going to get into the gym, get a workout done. So got to film a workout for you guys. Might snip a bit of that up and put it on the socials as well, if anything's sort of handy and helpful. From there, me and Sunee are going into a cafe. We're going to go do some Europe planning. So me and her are heading over to Europe next year, which takes so much planning. So pretty much most Saturdays we head in there and have a coffee and get some planning done. So we're going to go do that, which is really good. And then also for some physio content, I am going to be showing you guys the do's and don'ts of when you've sprained an ankle. The most common injury that we see in the physio practice, but I see so many people with so many misconceptions and also managing it pretty poorly. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this second vlog. Let's go.
I can feel it in my bones. I nothing to ask some more. Got me looking like a clown. Tell me why we slide us down. Tell me I'll be what I eat. Can I do that? Got my needs. Rose the gun and kill the sound. Someone always slide us down. I can tell.
Yo, Saturday morning guys, I'm going to take you guys into the gym with me. I like to go to the gym Saturday mornings, get the weekend started. Pretty much Saturdays I roll through some sort of cardio workout plus probably a bit of core stuff. So today I'm going to hit the treadmill, do 5Ks on that, see how I go for time, and then after that I'll set up like a bit of a core workout, a bit of a core circuit, might add in some other cardio stuff as well. So basically just try and get a sweat on. So we'll do that, then I'm going to go get a coffee. Boom. First thing I do in the mornings though before I go to the gym, coffee. Coffee number 1 for the day. Let's go.
My bones, and it's them to us some more. Got me looking like a clown. Someone always let us down. Tell me I'll be what I eat. Can't help it, I got my needs. Close the curtain, kill the sound.
Alright, rolling out to the gym now. Thought I'd just quickly show you the screamer of a day we're having. Oh, beauty. Doesn't know how to work the brightness still. Beauty. Like I was saying, I'm going to go and do some cardio, get a bit of a sweat on, and then me and the missus are going to get a cuppa and plan a bit of Europe. So yeah, let's go. Finally got some good weather in Koori. It has been absolutely freezing and wet and like raining and everything. So yeah, finally got some good weather.
I saw indeed. We the top 10, UGK the major way, not play it don't stop here. Traffic lights, we going, know the time until the clock near. Hands on roll, we doing digi to the whole block clear. Yo, what you got there? Oh, did you not hear? Indies taking over and we got the whole shop, yeah. Her, she wanna know me better, but I'm on the top.
Alright guys, just finished up on the treadmill, knocked out a humble 5Ks, did it in about 21 minutes, so you know, no David Goggins, but that's alright for me. Now we're about to rip into a bit of a core circuit, so there'll be 2 core-based exercises, then I'm going to add in a 3rd cardio exercise to keep the heart rate up while I'm doing it, so yeah, stick around and see what we got.
Nah, don't bother us, windows fogging up, if she in a passenger, then you know she finest. Damn. It's really still a bros and my blood love. All is all love. AWD, I got a newer clutch. And my guapi up, you could call me up. Since you know the face and the name, this is us. We the top 10, UGK the major way, not play it don't stop here. Traffic lights, we going, know the time until the clock near. Hands on roll, we doing digi to the whole block clear. Yo, what you got there? Oh, did you not hear? Indies taking over and we got the whole shop, yeah. Her, she wanna know me better, but I'm on the top 10. Gotta match my energy, you see I'm in the top, yeah, it's top 10, hey. Yeah, I heard you knocking, but my nigga, I am not here. Watch out for the company you keep, cause people mad weird. I will pull up on you and address it, I am not scared. We just looking down on these niggas from the top stairs. We been dropping back to back to back, but it don't stop here. People love to tell me their opinion, I do not care. Way that we keep bodying these tracks, man, it is not fit. Way that God keep blessing In my own bubble like a Montclair. Count the money, making sure it's all there. Designer in my closet and it's all rare. Every year it's all nature boy like top tier. UGK the major when I play.
That's the gym done, guys, for Saturday morning. I hope you liked that little session I threw together. Saturdays are usually got a bit more time on my hands, so I like to do mainly cardio and core. So busted out a 5k run there, then got straight into 2 different circuits of core and a bit of other cardio work there as well, I suppose. Now it's an absolute beautiful day, which has been very rare out in Koori the last couple of months really. So me and the missus is going to get a coffee, we'll probably go for a walk, and then we've got a lot of Europe planning to do, so I'll take you guys along with me for that. Also, I don't really know if it's interesting or not, but I thought I'd just share it with you guys. Like, now that footy season's over, this is how I like to break my my training up for the week, sorry. So I usually get to the gym probably around 6 days a week, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday is a strength-based stuff. So on Mondays, it's upper body, and it's a bit of a split between push and pull-based exercises, and they're all in a circuit, so that you're constantly doing something. And Wednesdays are usually legs, so legs will involve sort of squat and deadlift variations, like hip-based exercises, hemis, quads, all that sort of stuff, again in circuits. Then on Fridays, it's a big split, so half of it will be upper body, the other half will be lower body. That one usually takes about 60 or so minutes to get done. It's a bit bigger. At the moment, the intensity's around like a 6 rep max, so most exercises I'm doing a weight that I'm absolutely busted by the 6th rep, and I'm doing about 4 sets of each really. So that's how I like to do that. Then on Tuesdays, I usually do like a bit of a HIIT circuit, get the heart rate up. I just sort of decide that on the day what I'm going to do. Thursdays I'll reserve for like a 5k run or a bit more sort of that longer cardio stuff. And then Saturdays, whatever I'm feeling like, really I like to try and film some stuff for the Koori Physio, so whatever exercises I'm trying to film for that, I'll go in and do that on a Saturday really. So yeah. So it's Saturday, we're just in at our local cafe in Koori. Saturdays we come in here, get a coffee and try and plan our Europe trip. So we're heading over to Europe next year for a year. So
I've been planning this for years.
For a long time now.
Before COVID was there, so we were like, we want to go. And then we were in lockdown for so long. And then this year we moved to Koori to be close to Jai's family, because Jai's little sister had a bubba. And yeah, so now, like, for so long, I honestly was like, we're not going. It's not happening. COVID's ruined everything. We're never going to be able to travel again. We're too old, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then only realised, the last couple of months is when we've actually been, planning it and actually getting excited.
Yeah, so we come in on Saturdays and try and plan out our whole trip. So yeah, that's what we're doing now. Going to go and get a coffee now though. Coffee number 3 for me for the morning, and then going to rip into some planning. So we've got our flights booked and our insurance booked and a bit of our accommodation, but now we're just trying to finalise our budget and our itinerary, and then we'll go and book the rest of our accommodation. So yeah. We are going to crack into the physiotherapy advice part of this vlog. This vlog number 2, you might have seen, I've shown you a little bit about what I do up on the weekends, what I do in the gym. I'm going to add in some physio stuff now. After this, we might finish it off by talking about some Aboriginal health topics. So So yeah, we're going to talk about ankle sprains. One of the most common injuries that we see as physios is ankle sprains. Super common, but just because they're common doesn't mean that they're always managed so well. So we're going to tackle a couple of the misconceptions about ankle sprains, hey? We all know what a sprained ankle is. Basically, it's that when you're stepping on the ground or you're running and you go to change direction, or you might have had a few drinks and you're walking home and you step off the gutter, and it's where your foot plants itself, but then it rolls towards the outside. And what you have on the outside of your ankle are 3 big ligaments that stop that movement from happening. Once you go too far that way though, they start to sprain or tear, basically. Let's get into how you manage that, because even though it's an easy injury, it's not always managed so well. So let's break down a couple of the misconceptions about managing an ankle sprain. First one I want to tackle is you may have heard of RICE, rest, ice, compression, elevation. RICE is the right thing to do for a sprained ankle, right? Wrong. No. The same guy that invented RICE has come out actually and said that, RICE, probably not the most appropriate thing to do. Rest. Is rest a good thing for it? Not really. You're probably thinking, what? Why wouldn't I ice my sprained ankle? Great question. It's been shown that ice can actually slow down the healing process. How can it do that? How can it slow down the healing process, you might wonder? So, ice has actually been shown to slow tissue adaptation. So the way that your muscles sort of respond to load and strength exercises and range of movement exercises, ice can actually slow down that process. So yeah, at the very basis of it, it can slow down the healing process and it can slow down tissue adaptation, which is a bad thing when you're trying to come back from injury. Compression, rest, and elevation are also a bit, iffy. Do they have their place? Do they not? So why don't we talk about what you can do to manage an ankle sprain effectively? The first thing you want to do, if it's bad enough that you can't put any weight on it and you can't walk off the field or walk off the court, you had to be carried off sort of thing, first thing I would do is probably that day head to an emergency room somewhere and get an x-ray to rule out a fracture. Big important one. If you can't weight bear, rule a fracture out. Basically, the next thing you want to do is create as much pain-free range of movement as you can. The two that I love giving out is the gas pedals, which is probably the first one you can start doing. Gas pedals is basically toes up, toes down, toes up, toes down. Like you're driving a car pretty much. Toes down, toes up, toes down, toes up. That's the gas pedal. Depending on how severe the sprain is, I might start people doing the alphabet as well. So A, B, C, depending on how irritating that is for those outside ankle ligaments. So what this is actually doing is it's ensuring that your ankle doesn't stiffen up and it's trying to encourage a bit of movement. This is going to be really important when you start getting into your other exercises. The other important thing here with range of movement exercises is the muscles in around your ankle, so your calf muscles and all the other little ones, with them contracting and relaxing, they're acting like pumps. So it's actually clearing a lot of the swelling and the fluid out through the lymphatic system. Whereas if you just sort of rested it and elevated it, it probably wouldn't achieve this as well. Definitely not resting. Elevating, yes, but it's a more passive process. So you're allowing gravity to sort of let it go down, whereas if you've got that muscle action, you're sort of getting the pump and pumping it down, if that makes sense. Okay, so you've got an x-ray, you've ruled out a fracture. You've started to do some gentle range of movement exercises within a pain-free range. You've started to get rid of some of the swelling. What next? So one of the first things I'll do after an ankle sprain is strap it so that people get a lot of support. They also get a lot of confidence from tape. Why is that important? Because confidence is going to let you get back into some exercise and to start on a bit of a rehab program fairly early in the process. Strapping will also let people sort of get up and do a little bit of walking. They feel like they've got a bit more support. They're not worried about rolling it as much, so it's going to just allow them to do a little bit more. If you go onto my Instagram and TikTok pages, you'll see my ankle strapping videos. Not too hard to do yourself. What's important though when you're strapping an ankle after a sprain in the early days is you want to block that rolling out and in, but you want to make sure that they can still go up and down with as much range of movement as they can. So again, can they do the gas pedals with the tape on? Once you've been taped up, it's time to start a rehab program. And if you're just starting off in the early days, you're probably going to still be in a fair bit of pain. So we've got to work out what you can do. So this is where it becomes very individualized. This is going to be different for everyone. And this is where the guidance of a physio is probably the best bet. So you've already got your range of movement exercises. What are the other big things we want to rehab with an ankle sprain? Strength is the next one. Proprioception is the next one. Proprioception is like balance, basically. Your proprioreceptors tell your brain where your body is in space. So they're the things firing, telling your brain you're going too far that way and your ankle ligaments are about to tear. So I get people started straight away on some balance exercises, some single leg balance stuff, really, really easy. What you can do for single leg balance stuff is simply stand on one leg, hands on your hips, time yourself, see how far you can go. Start with your eyes open. If you can do 30 seconds 3 times, fairly easy. Go eyes closed. And then if you want to make it even more challenging, go single leg standing on a pillow, 2 pillows, eyes closed, throw a ball up against the wall and try and catch it. count backwards in your head, all these different things you can do to challenge yourself with that balance exercise. Now it's time for some strength work. So pretty well straight away, I'll start people doing some eversion resistance work with a TheraBand. So that's trying to strengthen the muscles on the lateral side or the outside of the ankle. These are really important in ankle stability. The other ones I'll do is start doing some calf work. Double leg calf raises if the patient's in a bit of pain. We're going to quickly progress that to single leg calf raises and then single leg calf raises through full range, which you can do easily at home with a stamp, or if you've got books, you can use a book. And then, yeah, that's where we're going to start there. The other thing that's important to note as well is that when you're doing single leg balance exercises, these are actually strengthening all the muscles in around the ankle as well. So it's 2 for 1. Okie doke, so you're doing range of movement exercises, some easy strength exercises, some balance exercises. You may have some tape on there. You know not to ice it. Where do you go to now? So again, very individualized. This is going to differ person to person based on what you're trying to achieve, basically, what your goals are. Are you trying to get back to sport? Are you just trying to get back to walking the dog? Are you just getting back to trying to go to work okay? In broad terms though, the next step is going to be bumping up that rehab program to be a bit more sort of higher level strength and conditioning stuff, as well as trying to tweak that program to be as sport specific or goal orientated as possible. Once you've built up adequate strength, you've got good range of movement, your balance is coming along pretty well, then we get into the fun stuff. And the fun stuff, again, varies on what you're trying to get back to. If it's getting back onto the field, if it's getting back onto the court, anything like that where you've got to change direction, you got to sprint, you got to stop, accelerate, decelerate. Then we get into some plyometric based exercises, some building up some running loads, some change of direction drills, some sport specific drills, get you back into training with the goal of getting you back into the game. So there you go guys, an ankle sprain, one of the most common injuries. There's some advice on how you can manage it. That's how I manage all my ankle sprains. They always go really well. That's the other thing to note. Even though you can have a really nasty ankle sprain, most of the time they recover really well. The rate of re-injury may be increased after you've done one, but if you can try and maximize your outcomes from a rehab program, you're gonna be in good stead. I think probably the most important takeaway from this video is, do you ice a sprained ankle? No, you don't. Boom. Bring the mob back home safely. You know it. I am repping some Bring Me Home Safely, Bring the Mob Home Safely merch given to me by my brother, who's an Aboriginal Health officer. I'm also wearing my Take Pride movement cap, so supporting the mob a little bit, you know. How you going guys? Welcome back to the Koori Physio vlog. In this little part we're going to get tucked into some Aboriginal health content. You know, my page is dedicated 50% to sort of physiotherapy advice, but I'm also super passionate about Aboriginal health. I'm here, we're going to talk about probably one of the most important Aboriginal health topics, I think. It's cardiovascular disease or heart disease. So it's the biggest killer of our mob. I think it makes up about 30% of all deaths. So being the biggest killer of our mob, I think it's the biggest thing we need to talk about really. Cardiovascular disease, heart disease, I've made a couple of posts about it before on my Instagram page. I'm not going to get into that stuff too much. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty. I want to talk about what things we can do to improve it basically. So what is cardiovascular disease? It's basically anything that can affect your heart or the way the blood moves around the body pretty much. And right here are the risk factors. So as you can see in there, you know, there's a few things in there that affect our mob specifically, but not being all doom and gloom, the positive things about all these risk factors is they're modifiable. So you can make changes that can reduce their impact on you, or, you know, completely get rid of these risk factors if you want to. But, you know, easier said than done. So let's talk a little bit about them. Let's start with the most obvious one that needs to go, and that is smoking, or as we call it, the bundas. They plain and simply just need to go. They're so bad for you. They're responsible for, I think it is 30 major causes of illness. So, you know, that's heaps. And, you know, you've heard this all before, and I'm sure if you are a smoker, you're just sick to death of hearing, yep, I've got to quit smoking. Obviously, duh. What you probably don't know, though, is some of the positives about quitting, I think a little bit underestimated. Like, if you quit, I think it's by the age of 40, if you can quit by the age of 40, then your life expectancy actually reverts to what it would have been if you weren't a smoker. You know, that's pretty crazy. Your lung regenerates and everything like that. You can reverse the impact basically. Like, that in itself should be enough to get rid of them. On my TikTok, I made a bit of a video about sort of how quick the effects of quitting smoking can start as well. And it's within hours, like your body starts to improve. So if you want to see all of those, just head over to my TikTok. You know, you hear a lot about how you need to quit and, like, you know, all these different services and that are out there to help you quit. But what you probably don't know is most people actually quit on their own. And the other thing to know as well is, like, failure is super common. Like, most people are going to quit and then start smoking again and then try again. And, like, that is the normal process. If you can stick to it and stick at it, then eventually, you know, you come good. There are a lot of services out there though in saying that, like Quitline's really good. Quitline also have a Indigenous specific hotline. So they're a really great service to hit up. I might actually try and link some of those services in my description. So head down there if you are a smoker and you need a little bit of help, but just know most people do quit on their own. Give yourself a bit of a pat on the back and get into it. So in regards to heart disease, if you quit smoking, 1 year after you've quit, you're literally at half the risk of developing CVD or heart disease than a smoker. Half. Exercise is another massive one. Lack of exercise leads to a lot of those risk factors there. That's another big one you can start making a change to, and it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to go and get gym memberships or personal training or go on The Biggest Loser or anything like that. You can make simple changes today that are manageable. And again, this is going to be sort of what's going to fit into your lifestyle. The big question with exercise is, how much do I need to do? So 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week is what's recommended. Moderate intensity exercise is like going for a walk with a friend or a family member or something like that, having a yarn and all that, walking to and from work, you know, any of that stuff. Then it's 75 to 150 of sort of more vigorous intensity exercise. That might be things like going for a jog, going for a run, swimming, playing sport, anything like that, gym classes, anything like that. And it's also recommended that you complete 2 or more strength training sessions per week as well. So that could be done in the gym, that could be bodyweight stuff at home, resistance bands, anything like that. Exercise is daunting and it can often be very beneficial to get some help. So people that can help you with exercise sort of stuff are like personal trainers, exercise physiologists, physiotherapists, all that. You can sort of find anything like that online. YouTube's a really massive sort of platform where people find a lot of exercise advice. If you want something more specific and tailored to you though, you can go to a GP and get a referral to one of these guys. I'm in the middle of a video because I threw it. I'm literally in the middle of a video.
Well, you can cut it out.
Can you close the door? I'll also throw in the description a couple of links to some good sort of services and resources where it comes to exercise. And I reckon probably the third thing that really needs to be looked at, so we might focus on things like smoking, exercise, and then what comes in at number 3 is a healthy diet. Super important, again, at reducing sort of the impact these risk factors can have. So over here we might have a what to include column, and in that will be veggies, fruits, whole grains, some seafood, lentils, beans, some lean meat. When it comes to dairy and all that stuff, low fat and dairy free options, healthy fats as well, your nuts, your avocados, that sort of stuff. Over here we might have a what you want to limit: sugar, saturated fats, alcohol, the grog, processed meats and salts. As the title says, I'm the Koori Physio, not the Koori dietitian. So my advice is just general. So getting some more sort of tailored advice would be handy. So nutritionists, dietitians, all that stuff can be great resources. In terms of websites, there are a couple of good ones that I've used before. They are like eatforhealth.gov, Nutrition Australia, Heart Research Australia as well is another great one. So I would say those would be the main 3: quit smoking, regular exercise, and a healthy diet. And they're going to help with other things as well. So like maintaining a healthy weight, helping maintain a healthy blood pressure, helping maintain a healthy cholesterol level as well. Just a couple of add-ons in there as well. Just 2 others that I think are really important. Sleep, quality sleep is super important as well. Actually, if you scroll down in the archives of my Instagram page, I've got a sleep hygiene routine. So I won't go into too much depth of it here, but yeah, go and check that out. So mental health is another big one. Stress can have a huge impact on your heart. Depression, anxiety can also have huge impacts on your heart. A couple of strategies like getting in touch with a psychologist, doing some reading, doing some mindfulness and meditation, going to websites like Beyond Blue, all that sort of stuff can be really helpful in managing your mental health. So there you have it, guys. That was our Aboriginal health topic wrapped up for this vlog, and that was heart disease, probably the big hitter, the most important. I hope some of the information was beneficial for you. A couple of resources, I'll link them all in the description, and that's things to help with sort of exercise, nutrition, all that sort of stuff. If you want to learn more about heart disease as well, I'll link something for that in the description. I've made multiple posts on my Instagram page about that, so if you want to scroll back, they are in pink and they look like this and this. So go and have a bit of a look at those if you want any more information. Thank you, guys.